I was the CEO of a tech company when my son told his class I was busy to love anyone. What happened next cost me millions but saved my life. At 43, I had everything Silicon Valley defines as success. I'd founded a data analytics company valued at $280 million, made the cover of Fast Company, and just closed our Series etc. funding. My calendar was booked 6 months in advance. My phone never stopped buzzing, and I hadn't taken a vacation in 4 years. What I didn't have was time for my 10-year-old son Max. His mother and I had divorced when he was 3, and I'd mastered the art of efficient parenting, parentality time scheduled in 45-minute blocks, conversations during commutes. I convinced myself I was building a legacy that would benefit him eventually. Then came Alpha's day at Max's school. I delegated this to my COO, but he got food poisoning that morning with investors in town and a board meeting that afternoon. I planned to make a brief appearance, give a simplified version of my standard keynote, and leave before the Q&A. I arrived just as Max was introducing me to his 5th grade class. This is my dad, Daniel Matthews. He's the CEO of Datavore. That means he's really important to everyone except his family. The room fell silent. Max continued, his voice matter of fact. He misses most of my baseball games, but he says he's building something big that will matter someday. I think he's too busy to love anyone. I felt physically ill. The teacher quickly intervened, but those words, too busy to love anyone, echoed in my head through my rushed presentation and the drive back to the office. That night, I couldn't sleep. I pulled out my phone and scrolled through photos of Max, realizing the most recent ones had been taken by his mother. But in my calendar, I counted I'd missed 8 of his last 10 baseball games, his school play, his science fair. When had I last helped with homework or had a conversation that wasn't about scheduling or school performance? The next morning, I did something unprecedented. I cleared my schedule for the day and drove to Max's school. I signed him out, ignoring the flurry of texts from my executive team. Are you in trouble? Max asked as we got in the car. No, I said, but I think I've been making some big mistakes. We spent the day at the beach, something we hadn't done since he was a toddler. I left my phone in the car. We built sand castles, ate junk food, and talked pernt for the first time in years. He told me about the girl he liked, the bully he avoided, and how he sometimes pretended to be sick on my custody weekends so he could stay with his mom, where he didn't feel like an inconvenience. Each word was a knife, but also a gift. That weekend, I made a decision that shocked my board, our investors in the tech world. I stepped down as CEO of the company I'd founded. The announcement tanked our stock. Several investors pulled out. My net worth dropped by millions overnight. My executive team thought I'd lost my mind. The business press speculated about health problems or scandals. The truth was simpler and more complicated. I'd realized I was willing to sacrifice anything for success except my relationship with my son. I took a 6-month sabbatical. Max and I went camping, fishing, and to 27 baseball games. I learned the names of his friends, his favorite subjects, his fears about middle school. I rediscovered parts of myself buried under years of pitch decks and quarterly targets. When I returned to work, it was as chief strategy officer, paired a role with normal hours and no weekend emergencies. I make less money now. My industry profile has diminished. Former colleagues sometimes look at me with confusion or pity. But last week, Max asked if his friend could join us for a Saturday hike, adding, he doesn't believe dads actually do stuff like that. That's when I knew walking away from being important was the most important decision I ever made.